Hello and welcome to lesson 2 of week 5. In this lesson, we are going to look at how to integrate SQL data into Pandas Workflow. My name is Mildred. In the last lesson, we have seen how we can use SQL Alchemy to create a connection and to interact with the database. Now in this lesson, we want to now feed data into Pandas. So here we are going to import Pandas as PD. Now we integrate SQL into Pandas for filtering large data sets, to join tables for aggregation. We can use Pandas mostly to clean this data, to visualize it, to run statistical analysis, to use machine learning preparation, to do anything with this data, right? So SQL and Pandas, they complement each other. And so let's read an SQL data here. So let's say we want to have df is equal to pd.read. So we're going to read SQL like this, and then we'll select all from users. So let's say we want to read this, and we'll say select all from users, and then we'll pass in the engine, which is the connection that we created here. All right, and then we can print df.head like this. When we run, we will see it here as a Pandas data frame. So we have the column name, we have it nicely with an index there. So we can start running analysis from here. We have missing data and all of that. We can also use SQL Alchemy text with Pandas query, like we looked at before, where we can say let's do SQL Alchemy here. So let me say query is equal to text, and what I want to do here is to select all from another table user rows where the row ID is a particular row ID. So I'll say select all from user rows where the row ID. So we're going to use parameterized query like this. So because we've done this, now we can read this into a data frame. So we'll say that df is equal to pd.read SQL, and we are going to pass the query here, the English, and then they will put the parameters. So we'll say want where the row is 3 like this, and then we can print df because we only have maybe 2 records there, or you can print the head. So you see user row, user ID, row ID. You can now write this Pandas back to SQL. So you can say to write back to SQL like this, you can say df.to SQL, and then you put in what you want to put. So maybe we want to have let's say we want to have new users like this, and then we'll put the engine, and we want to say if exists, we want to replace, right? If exists, replace, and then index false. So when you put if exists replace, it will not have an error to tell it already exists or things like that. And then you can do this run, and you print it out there because we saved this into new users. So we save this to SQL. All right, then we want to append to an existing table. For instance, you can say you want to append to a table. Let's call this table. Now because I created a new table to SQL, when I come here, let's look at it first, and I refresh this. I see the list of tables. When I refresh, I will have the new users table that I created here from here. So you can see you can create a new table. You can create a table as a backup when you clean other tables or things like that. All right, and then you can append an existing table. So let's say I want to append to the user rows table. Now I'll say user rows like this. I want to say if exists, I will append, not replace, right? If exists, I will append like this, and then index equal to false. So this will not allow duplicates because that is a primary key. So we should get an error, but this is the way it should go. All right, so you can see duplicate entry, so it will not allow, but this is the query in the event that you want to append to existing tables. So for best practices, you want to use SQL for filtering large data. You want to use it to join tables. You want to use it for aggregation at scale. You also want to do feature engineering and visualization using Pandas. You want to always use parameterized queries like this to avoid SQL injection attacks, and you want to avoid loading massive data sets fully into Pandas. The common errors that you will have is when you have connection refused error. You want to check if the database is running and check your credentials if they're correct. If the table, or you see table not found error, check the names of the table and the name of the database. If the data is too large, you want to filter in SQL before Pandas. You want to do the whole filtering in SQL before Pandas. And if you have like a type mismatch, you want to explicitly do data type conversion. Okay, and so one of the things you can do is, the first task is to connect to the database, to query the data, to load to a data frame, clean and analyze, and then you can store it back the clean data that you already have. So like we had here where we have new users, it might just be like the users have missing data and we cleaned it and got new data. This is where we end this lesson, and this brings you halfway into this course. The end of this week is our part 1 quiz, where you will have multi-choice questions to answer on your knowledge from weeks 1 to 5. Thank you, and see you next week.